Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video on a product that I found at Walgreens today. Normally I wear higher end makeup that I usually get from Ulta or Sephora, but today when I was picking up some prescriptions I noticed that Walgreens had all their makeup buy two get one free. I actually have no makeup on right now. I did put on some primer. I used the Bare Minerals Prime Time, the original formula. This is kind of like my day-to-day one if I'm not doing anything particularly fancy. That's the one I like to use. Otherwise, I do love the Benefit Pore Professional. This is the one that I'll use if I'm doing something that I really want to look my best on. But I actually picked up quite a few things, but the one that I wanted to introduce to you guys was this by L'Oreal. It is a True Match LUMI cushion. I thought at first this was an illuminating product for highlighting. I think maybe the rose gold just influenced my decision to buy it. It's a very pretty package. Don't mind my nails. I know they look awful right now. I definitely need to get those done. I have so much on my to-do list right now. But yeah, I guess I didn't pay much attention to it, and I picked up the C2 color. So I'm not even sure it's the right color because this is foundation, not any sort of highlighter or illuminating powder is what I thought. It was a powder compact, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it out. Like I said, I normally use, higher end things, but I also want to experiment with drugstore things, and, not everybody can afford the, $36 thing of Benefit or, Clinique and whatnot, and I normally try to avoid drugstore things just because I have a notorious history of breaking out from them, but I'm just curious. So it does come in this nice little compact. When you open it, there's a mirror, and you get this little sponge, which I'm not a fan of. Oh, now it's on the floor, of the little sponge thingies. Then it's got one of these lifty things, which I'm not a fan of compacts that have these. I feel like it adds bulk. There was a foundation that I tried for myself not too long ago. It was the It Cosmetics, this cream and makeup one, and I really didn't like it. I understand it was a full coverage foundation, but it was just too thick. It felt like it didn't spread well. Maybe I should do a video on it later with more in-depth, and so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So go ahead and open it up, and wow, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting like a powder, like a cream type one, and this is what it looks like. You can now see that I'm recording on my phone today. But it actually seems like it's working out pretty well. I'm experimenting with different lights and cameras and locations right now, so I am just really interested. This is like a cushion. Just from tapping it, it put quite a bit of makeup on. It looks like that might actually be a pretty good match for my skin. So far it feels very moussey, creamy. It doesn't feel greasy, so go ahead and give this a try. I'm not sure if that pad thing would have really even worked well. I just feel like that's something awful to put with it. So I don't think a brush is going to be best for this either. So if you give me 1 minute, I'm going to go get a dampened beauty sponge. Okay, so I'm back, and I have my dampened beauty sponge. It's this basic orange one. I forgot which brand it is. I've seen quite a few of them out. So I'm going to dip this on there. Ooh, it looks like a sponge ate a sponge. Like, I don't feel like the product that's on here would be enough to spread on my face, so maybe put it on there again. Oh my gosh, it's like yeah, my sponge is eating this. But I'll go ahead and put some on. Oh, okay, so there was quite a bit of makeup that it grabbed. Okay, so we're getting some coverage. And it looks like my camera is readjusting and changing the light from time to time. Huh. Okay. I am pleasantly surprised so far. It's blending in. Ish. Yeah, maybe I might want to correct. I'm surprised with the amount of coverage that it's giving for it seeming like most of it is on here. I mean, look at how much my sponge absorbed the makeup. So it looks, I'm surprised by the coverage, really. My problem so far is that it's very wet. It looks wet, and it's actually not blending that greatly because it's leaving smudges and smears, and so I don't even think I want to use a foundation brush. But I do have this one by It Cosmetics. It's like a double-ended one. You know, there's rules, I guess, about which makeup brushes to use, which, you know, for whatever purpose. But I like using this one for foundation too, so I'm gonna try it, see if, you know, I can get maybe it to not look streaky and textured. This seems to be helping. Okay. Yes, that is helping a lot. Ooh, my camera went super. It's like when I raise my arm up and block the light coming from this side, it completely whites out the camera. Okay. So, I feel like that honestly is a really great match. I am shocked by how good of a match that I feel like it is. I mean, the video camera never quite captures what I'm looking at in real life here, but I am surprised. This matches better than this Ivory by Benefit, and this is the one I always use. I guess I feel like it's even a little too dark, and I'm pretty sure it's the lightest shade. This one that I use by Clinique, this Redness Solutions, I love this one because obviously you can tell I have a lot of redness, and I feel like it works pretty flawlessly, but I also feel like this one's kind of dark. And then I really, really wanted to try this one, and I might make a video on it later and actually apply it and show you what I'm getting out of it, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I actually watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and I feel like it got really, really mixed reviews, and I actually feel like this one's like too light, too maybe yellowish for my skin, so yeah, I really just stick to, you know, the Clinique one, the Benefit one. I also like using the Clinique pressed powder to sometimes set it rather than just using a translucent powder, just if I'm looking to get more coverage and try and build. But so far, that is what I am actually loving about this L'Oreal Paris makeup. It doesn't feel, it feels a little bit more greasy, I would say, than the Benefit or Clinique or even the Charlotte Tilbury, but I am really impressed by the coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and try and just get this put on more. And really just try and get my whole face done, get it well blended, and then we'll see, you know, what the finished product looks like. Okay, so I would say that I'm pretty much done working with it. I've tried building it up. I've tried using the beauty blender and the brush just to try and get a really flawless, smooth looking overall look. I still really do like the match, and it does make me want to try a different, maybe foundation product within this line in that color, because I feel like it just really is a good match. I don't know how the other shades match other skin tones, but for fair skin and a higher end foundation, I would say, I think this foundation was like $16.99, so it wasn't the cheapest one you can get at a drugstore. I feel like it is an option. My only concern, and one of the reasons I probably wouldn't use it, is because it does look like I'm wearing makeup. It's really hard to get the camera to see. It just feels like it's sitting on top of my skin more than I would like. It was difficult to blend and really get like a flawless looking overall surface without getting streaks and smudges. And so I'm gonna see if that, you know, can easily be corrected just with a setting powder. I'm not gonna use the foundation one because I don't want to, since I'm focusing on foundation right now, I don't want to mix foundations right now as I'm reviewing. So I'm gonna use this Invisible Blurring Powder by Honest. I think this is one of my favorites that I've tried. I also do have the one by the It Cosmetics, and it's nice. It's okay. This one is supposed to help minimize pores much more. It's actually called Bye Bye Pores Poreless Finish Airbrush Powder. And this one, I don't know what it claims to do actually. Invisible Blurring Powder, so it doesn't, maybe it made claims on the original packaging that I don't have, but it looks worse. Before it looked a little shiny and wet, and now, well, I have like a smudge there. Now I feel like it looks very cakey, more, you can tell that after using the setting powder that it's sitting on top of your skin. It brought out that characteristic of it much more. So I think maybe if I were to try it again, I would put it on and then not use a powder and just let it air dry and see how it dries that way. Using a setting powder did not help give it any bit of a flawless finish. Coverage, it does seem like it did pretty well. I mean, with the sides where I have more discoloration, I feel like I look pretty even. Obviously, it didn't cover the larger red area, and you know, it takes me a lot with higher end makeup to cover that mark, so I wasn't expecting this to cover that. Overall, once again, I am concerned about the amount of makeup you actually get. Like I said, you know, this was more expensive, $16.99 for a drugstore product, and let me see if I get, like, where's a dirty brush I can use the end of? Alright, okay. So if I use this brush and, like, move this sponge out of the way, I don't know if you can see how much makeup is down there. I mean, right now it is pretty. I think I can just remove this sponge, and I will. Yeah, I can. So let me get the makeup off my brush. So here's the sponge. And then look how, like, I don't know if you can see in the nooks and along the edge, there's not very much makeup in here. So really the amount of makeup you're getting is what's in here, and it's pretty saturated. This is really gross. I hate having foundation on my hands. I don't know how people can apply makeup with their fingers. So if I'm just like trying to squeeze the makeup out of this, Okay. I'm gonna need to seriously wash my hands. I mean, there's a lot. I'm making a mess of my workspace. I'm surprised about how much this little sponge and makeup is holding. But now look at it. I mean, look at how much makeup. Ooh, let's not have all that run out. Wow, this is a disaster. You know, I don't know if you can tell, but that's not a lot of makeup for $16.99. This isn't even like... Actually, this is how much makeup that would cover. I have this little, like, how many ounces is this? It actually doesn't say, but it's like a deluxe sample of the Clinique All About Eyes. And if, I only have one hand at the moment, if you were to put that makeup in here, that's how much makeup I would estimate liquid makeup is actually in here. And this sponge is now, there's that big drip, but this sponge, you're not going to get any more drips out of it. I've pretty much squeezed all the makeup out of it. Granted, I do have a good amount on my hand, but that's not a lot of makeup for $16.99. So I don't think I really would recommend this product because it's a good match, but overall it feels greasy. It feels like it's sitting on top of your skin. I think the packaging, the cute packaging, which obviously attracted me, is how it's going to attract people and why people will get it, because I can't believe how little foundation is actually in here. And I don't feel like a little bit goes a long way with this. So that is my total review about this. I'm ready to end this so I can wash my hand because that was very gross. But hopefully, you know, if you want to give it a try, you can give it a try. Let me know what you think about it, if you feel similarly, if you feel different, if maybe you applied it in a way that worked better for you than it seemed to have worked for me. You know, as you can tell, it doesn't look like I'm wearing the worst foundation. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the product too. I will see you all in my next video. Take care.